Welcome back to another episode 2 of Dreams Life Can Buy, hosted by yours truly, Darren, Kriz, and
Tommy Jordan.
Tommy
What's
Jordan.
happening?
There he is.
I don't mind you saying my name, bro. It's cool, bro.
No worries. But yeah, so we're just gonna kick it right off. How you been this week, Tommy? You know, the weeks change, the days change, things go quick. It's crazy.
Things go quick. I mean, here in California, it's starting to get dark at like 6 p.m., which is weird, you know, because it's been like, you know, winter's finally coming. I feel like winter's
Absolutely
here.
hate that.
It sort of is like an economic winter's coming, but real estate's still good so far. I got a feeling under contract this week, so that's always like a good feeling.
Go.
You know?
A couple big escrows for the man, Tommy, over there. Just easy. All through YouTube, both of them?
All through YouTube, man. All through YouTube. That's why we do this. That's why we're doing this podcast. All through YouTube.
That's why he's got the shirt on as well. Real estate creator. Just a shameless plug, real quick. He's got a course, real estate creator.
I'm filming some episodes today for it, for the YouTube channel. So I was like, well, I just got to go to work wearing this shirt, you know. But yeah, man. So things good. Always grateful, you know, when clients, you know, actually end up buying and you know. So now it's under contract. So you know, we still got home inspections and stuff. So things could still go a little off course, but you know, praying they don't. But what about you, man? What's happening your week? I know you got multiple channels going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, on your point with multiple escrows going, like now you're in the fun part. As we both know in this business, it's one thing to just be going on showing buyers around, and then, like you said, finally they actually make a decision, which is tough. I mean, we don't want to pressure them into making any decisions because it's a big life-changing, drastic decision, big money decision. But I mean, then, you know, we've both have many escrows fall out because of little things. The inspections go wrong, you know, or they just change their mind last minute. And especially in this market, well, you know, now it's crunch time for you. It's the fun stuff about this business, but it's cool that you know you figure out this lead flow generated just from YouTube. And you just have that going and you can still make content,
that's the
you know?
Nice thing. Yeah, totally what you were saying just about, you know, escrows, right? And like things can fall out of escrow. So if you don't have like a good system in place to be getting a lot of leads, you know, because we could have, you know, I mean, if you're cold calling and stuff, you know, you're stuck to that 3-4 hours every single day, praying and hoping, you know, someone wants to do business with you. And then and you're just spending so much time and then like you don't feel like you're getting ahead because you have to do that activity every day versus social media posting content. You post one video and the algorithm, YouTube's showing that to hundreds, thousands of people every single month. And then you could make the next video and make the next video. So that's the nice thing with YouTube is like, we keep getting leads. So if things fall out of escrow, we're not like freaking out because we know another buyer's around the corner. And I feel like I don't have to pressure anyone because I just know calls and emails are coming in every day, which is a good feeling, man.
Exactly. I mean, it's a great system to figure out. And it's still like, a minuscule amount of realtors or even business people know that you can do this from social media and how it can just be automated without the active everyday prospecting. Nobody really wakes up in the morning and says, I want to start making cold calls, you know, but some people do like making content like myself. Like we were saying, I pretty much structure my week around what kind of content I'm making, what kind of client, what kind of viewer I want, what audience I want to see my content, aside from just showing off nice fancy houses, which is good for branding. But aside from that, you have to realize who you want to be reaching out to, who you want to portray yourself as, and then make it known online, you know, so.
Totally. No, I think that's really gold there. I think a lot of people don't realize, and it took me a while to realize, and we're still realizing it and still trying to understand it, is like you could actually, the way you like whatever kind of content you're creating, structure in a way to like find your ideal client, dream customer, whatever, you know, if you know their wants and needs and then you create content that matches those wants and needs, like you could get them, you know, like it's not so random. I think as everyone sort of thinks it is, you know, I think when Mr. Beast or a lot of these big content creators make a video, they know, hey, I'm targeting this demographic for this age, or you know, like when he did Squid Games, what's going on, like they're very aware of who their audience is, what they're currently watching, and how to create content to then get those eyeballs and views.
Dude, I just saw a podcast Mr. Beast was on where he said nothing he does is random. Not a single thing. You won't see him post some random piece of content. You won't see a 3-second mark in a video that is just random. He said everything is planned, prepared, and structured in a way to get the viewership that he wants to get. He knows exactly who his audience is, and I mean, obviously he has a wide scope of people. Like his niche in the entertainment niche, he can get anyone from 5 years old to 75 years old. But I mean, the way he structures his videos are every second is just clip, 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 clip. You know, it's not so random. And then the idea is basically the biggest part in his space, because, you know, you come up with a good idea, a good hook, good thumbnail, you know, everyone would watch that. So
totally. And it's true that this whole, like, I heard this phrase and I love it, the TikTokification of like YouTube and Instagram and everything. I think all of us are realizing like how important hooks are in titles. And like you said, you know, even when we were talking about this today, like, what is the title? Like, because that title and that hook will make the difference between your content being good and being a flop. And I think what you were saying about Mr. Beast, about how like not even 5 seconds of his videos are like, you know, random. And I'm like, dude, that's why he is like the great on YouTube. Because I mean, dude, I mean, how many videos we make, or even, you know, when we're scripting, and like, I even know, like, so I'm making real estate videos or videos to try to attract real estate agents on one channel, right, to show them a better way of prospecting. And then my other channel is just videos about my marketplace and neighborhood. But even the one about attracting realtors, man, like, I am a real estate agent. I should know their wants and struggles and needs. And like, you could still have a few sentences that maybe just were like redundant, or you could have gotten to the point quicker, or like, you know what I mean? And that's like to a very targeted like approach. So it's crazy what he's doing, where it's such a mass market broad appeal, but to still have your like ideal person in mind to reach. It's like, that's crazy.
Dude, creating content is hard. I mean, people don't give them the respect they need. I know we talked a little bit about it in the last podcast, but I mean, you have to realize, you know, you have to just put out content that you like as well. You can't just put out content, because also long term, if you're going to just be putting out content for the viewer, you're not going to be able to sustain that, because because anyone could put out 3 videos a week, make a plan that I'm going to keep posting, grind for 6 months, but 3 weeks later, you've posted 9 videos. You got to come up with an idea for that 4th week. It's not going to be as easy as you make it seem in your mind, because I've seen so many people try and fail after a month, 2 months, once they don't see too much traction. But you just have to have the long-term vision, and especially even with all these YouTubers, people that were YouTubers 10 years ago usually will burn out. You don't see that many people in the industry that were making consistent YouTube videos 10 years ago that are still doing it. There's just a handful of them. Either they moved on to different projects, to different ventures, even though if they stuck with YouTube, they probably could be making 10 times more money. But a lot of the times it's not about the money. It's about doing what you actually like doing every day, and people can see that you're passionate about it. And people can see that Mr. Beast is passionate, extremely passionate, obviously, through all these podcasts about what he is creating. And that's why he is going to be a 100 billionaire one day, easily. Like, hands down, it's not even going to be a question at this point. I think people understand that.
Totally. Yeah. I think that's, man, so much good stuff there. I think that's been sort of my life journey, is like, okay, yeah, I could do real estate in my local market, Palm Springs, and I could have tons of videos and be making like good income, you know, like 7 figures. But I'm like, do I really I realize I enjoy social media and the marketing, TikTok and shorts and reels. That's like my passion. And, you know, and so the only reason really my channel has like, you know, maybe 6,000 subscribers, the only reason that's still going after 3 years is because like I need it to get clients for work, to be honest, you know, and that's why I started what's on my shirt today. So I think what Darren's saying is like, that I think that's like really the secret as an entrepreneur, business person, you know, or if you want to be, okay, how could I get my passion, and how could that be a business and make money? And that's like, I think that's everyone's dream. Because then, like Darren said, the sky's the limit. You'll be the one at the end of the day in 5 years that's still there and doing it, and you'll reap the reward.
Exactly. I mean, consistency long term will win every time, and we touched on that a lot as well in the last one. But I mean, yeah, like you said, taking your passion in with something that would work too. You can't just, there are some things that you can be passionate about, and then maybe you can't get rich from it. But I guess depending on what your life goal is, because if your life goal is to get rich, then you kind of have to, or not rich, but I guess if your life goal is to make a lot of wealth, make money, you have to be where the money is. And I mean, real estate is one of those ventures that you're selling an expensive product. So you can make a lot of money through real estate sales, which then you can eventually take into and invest in real estate. So there's a lot to learn from just real estate in general. But I mean, even Gary Vee says you can sell Smurfs if you're passionate about selling Smurfs, and make a channel about Smurfs and blow up doing that. If you did that for 5 years, I generally do agree that you can blow up from any niche possible. I mean, search anything. Like, look around your room and just type in, cups, making cups, and I'll bet you there's a channel of someone making like coffee cups. I mean, look at this coffee cup I have here. It's got my name all over.
That's a nice looking cup, man. Look at that. That is, man.
But yeah, I mean, any niche you can turn into something big for sure.
Totally. Yeah, I love how he says that. Gary Vee will be like, if you're into Star Wars and you do a Star Wars like YouTube channel, for years, you could make 6 figures doing that. I mean, I remember when I was setting up these microphones, and it's like when you have all these cables and stuff crossing, you'll get like these little weird sounds that you have to like fix. And there's these little things that you could put a clip on to help with, like, I don't know, the interference of the sound waves and stuff. And there's literally these guys on YouTube with channels just dedicated to like cords and wiring and like the sound of like microphones. And I'm like, what the heck? And then like, lo and behold, the guy has like affiliate links. The guy has like, a little course on audio, and he does consulting, and it's just like, it's insane, but the sky's the limit.
Yeah, that is crazy to hear. Like, channels dedicated just for the wiring of your surround sound, your system. There's probably channels dedicated to just the lighting alone, small things.
Yes.
I mean, there's tons of tech channels out there, because especially with the way that the world is going, everyone's going to have to get into some kind of tech, because even with any content creation, we have to, I mean, just this setup here, we had to figure it all out on our own, some Google research. That's the good thing about living in 2022 as opposed to 15 years ago, 20 years ago. You can't just research, how do I set up a mic and start a podcast, and get all these fancy systems that we have going on. It's way easier now than ever to figure out how to begin in content creation.
Yeah, we're super spoiled. That's for sure. Yeah. I want to share this article, Darren. Can you see this on the screen?
It's low. There it is. This is a great article here.
Let's talk. What are your thoughts on this, man? This just came out like a few days ago in the news. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna read the article for all of you audio listeners here. We have Mr. Beast said he turned down a $1 billion deal for his YouTube channel and associated companies. So, I mean, if you don't know what other companies Mr. Beast has associated himself with, he has Mr. Beast Burger, his burger restaurant chain. He has Feastables, his chocolate bar, and what else is he? He has 10 different channels where they all have over 10 million views each, probably at the low. But $1 billion was an offer made to a YouTuber, a content creator, and he turned it down instantly. Didn't even give it a second thought, which some people, that may blow your minds. If you're anyone, honestly, I talk to people my age that don't even realize, people in their 20s that don't even realize how much money some of these people are making online, on social media, on YouTube. They can't even fathom that Mr. Beast could turn down $1 billion, be an instant billionaire, just saying, all right, take my channel, take my billion, I'll buy my yachts, I'll buy a jet, I'll be good for the rest of my life. But it's bigger than just that. I mean, he's building all of these companies out that he's super passionate about, and he's really just started, it seems like. In the last 2 years, he's built out Beast Burgers and Feastable. And Beast Burgers is already, I think, the #1 burger chain. Like, they've sold the most burgers in a day of any restaurant in the world. That's a fact. I heard about that. And they've already done over 100 million in sales also, which is insane. And so it just shows you
Yeah.
where the potential is, and the sky is really the limit. And he said within the next 2 years, it should be about $10 billion valuation for all his companies, which is crazy. But I mean, he definitely made, if you know about all the companies and businesses and money that people are making in this space with big followings, 100 million subscribers on YouTube, can't even comprehend that. He definitely made the right decision, and I think in the next 3 to 5 years, everyone will realize that too.
For sure. No, I think hands down. I mean, with all of that, right here on this article, it says, if we have a mobile game company and we got 100 million people playing it, we have 1,000 physical Beast Burgers, okay, 1,000 physical, I think, locations, he's saying, in feast. 1,000 physical Beast Burgers and Feastables in 20,000 stores, okay? Like, this guy, he's 24 years old, okay? He said it would probably be 10 to 20 billion for him to sell. And honestly, I totally, I agree with him. I think it would be something at that number. And I think what Darren was saying, people totally underestimate like content creators. But I think what you were saying, I think the difference of Mr. Beast is he always was playing the long game. $1 billion is like, okay, like great, but what are you going to do after you get $1 billion? Like, don't get me wrong, I would love $1 billion, but like, then what? You buy some cars, you buy this, and I think what makes Beast like the billionaire kind of mindset is like the Warren Buffett kind of mindset, or that long play on everything he does. I mean, the reason he even got to where he is at now, and he always talks about it, when he started making money from AdSense and sponsors and stuff, he literally would get $10,000 sponsorship deal, and then he'd give that money away. In that, like, literally all the money, like, not put in his bank account, not pay himself half of it, and then he would get a bigger sponsorship, and then he would give that whole amount away, and he just kept doing that, and he's been able to pour so much money back into the business and not take it for like living this luxury lifestyle, which I'm sure was maybe not for him, maybe for him it wasn't like tempting. I mean, for me it would be, but he put that all back in the business, and he's able to grow it at such a level where now he's getting these offers. But I think, without a doubt, he could be worth 100 billion. Yeah. I mean, once you have, I think that's the crazy thing, and that we've been talking, once you get that size of an audience, like, you could sell anything. Look at Kylie Jenner, like, with makeup. Like, once you have the attention and the eyeballs, like, you are like doing you are a Super Bowl commercial every video you post like on YouTube. And if you have a product behind it, like, game over.
Exactly. Well, I mean, with Mr. Beast, he is one of those Elon Musk type personalities to where he actually almost structures his business like Elon Musk to where he lives in his warehouse. He has a little studio in his warehouse with a bench press right next to his bed. He rolls out of bed and starts working out. I mean, I think it's on YouTube, the full house tour of where he lives. He's not a guy, he says he doesn't want to buy mansions like you were saying. He doesn't want to buy any of this stuff. And that definitely takes a different kind of attitude and mindset, because lottery winners, I mean, if we look at lottery winners, there's a very high percentage of lottery winners that go broke instantly right after they get their multi-million-dollar checks, because they don't have the mindset of investing that into a business for themselves. They'll have a fun year. They'll have a fun year with $50 million and give it away to a lot of people, buying a lot of things, doing all the fun things that they want to do, that it looks like it's fun until you've done it all, and then what? Then you have nothing built for yourself. You start from ground zero, and you're still the same person internally that you were before you had all this money. What do they say? Money only amplifies the person you actually are. So it is interesting to see when you have that kind of mindset, what you can do with all of that wealth eventually long term. But also touching on Mr. Beast, I know there's all these different creators that are building businesses as well. We see some people like Emma Chamberlain has built this coffee brand. We've seen the Nelk Boys with Happy Dad, their alcohol company. And then we see Logan Paul, KSI. They've built Prime, which is almost already closing in at passing Gatorade and going to be probably worth $1 billion in the future as well. And it's just crazy. What do you think about all these creators that are venturing out into the retail space, into actually consumer products, consumer goods, and making a killing, making a fortune. I mean, this is I think we see where the future is heading with creators, with how they are stronger than a lot of these corporations.
These online personalities, content creators are moving from being online to dominating like the real world, because like the online world is the real world. And I think that's what everyone's waking up to. And this really interesting article right here, it's about the Nelk Boys, and it's how demonetized YouTuber pranksters still raking the dough. So the dough. So the Nelk Boys are YouTube pranksters, despite making $0 from YouTube ads, because their content's a little controversial. So they make $0 from YouTube ads, okay? They made zero, which is insane, because I think this article said, despite racking up nearly 1 billion views, Darren, in 6 million subscribers, almost 7, and this is an older article too, so it's going to be a lot more than that now. But Darren, do the math on 1 billion views with AdSense, and then let me know when you got that. So
a billion views
made no AdSense, okay, and made $50 million on merch last year, which is insane. And now it said in 2022 they're making 70 million, but I'm sure all these numbers are going to be a lot smaller. But they launched this hard seltzer called Happy Dad, and it's sold out like in stores. I mean, it's everywhere. So did you get that money on 1 billion views?
Yeah, 1 billion views on a channel with, let's say, a $5 RPM, which is pretty average, a little higher for a vlog, but let's say a $5 RPM, which is that would be about $5 million for 1 billion views, which is the money that they'd be missing out on if they were making Mr. Beast type content, or maybe if they're making financial advice content or finance content, that would probably be $20 million. So, but you know, they wouldn't have been able to build the audience that they had been. They wouldn't have been able to build a alcoholic brand the way that they did without, you know, I mean, it's just on brand for them. They're always doing pranks, and they have an audience of mainly college kids, I would say. So it was just it was time for them to build this company out, and it was smart for them, because I remember when they were building up their channel and doing all these pranks, they almost went into a deal with Corona. They were actually very close. I heard on one podcast they almost went through with partnering with Corona. Because they would always show that in their videos, but then instead they thought smart. I mean, Kyle is a super smart guy, as even though everyone sees him like from his pranks, saying kind of dumb things to random people. He's a really smart guy, and he knows the business. He knows the business side of social media. He studies it thoroughly. He's not just this airhead kid.
Totally.
And he didn't want their alcoholic beverage to be full send drink or whatever, full send vodka, full send seltzer. You know, they chose a name that would be able to be branded by anyone. You know, random people in Nebraska will see that in the stores, like the logo, and go through with it. So good on them.
Yeah, I think that's smart, what Darren was saying. Like, and I think it's really interesting that 5 million they could have made in AdSense, but they made 50 million, and that's not all their earnings. I'm sure they did like 100 million with all the stuff they have going on. So these numbers are always off, but it's a good just like measurement for us to see. 5 million in AdSense and 50 million in merch. So you don't even have to be getting, you could be getting tons of views on YouTube and not taking any of that money and make 10, 20 times the amount which you'd be making on YouTube if you just monetize it with clothing, with courses, with, I mean, this sky's the limit. So I agree with him. I think it's important to know who you are, who you're attracting, and they created a product that was very on point. I think a lot of people get into alcohol brands and alcohol companies, and everyone just wants to do it because they think it's like easy money. But it's just like, okay, who are you? You're an athlete or whatever. And a lot of people do it. They do it successfully, like The Rock and stuff. These mega people, but a lot of people will just sort of do it. But I mean, they're like, that's literally their audience. Like these college guys, like it's perfect. So I think, it all comes down to knowing who you are, what you're about, what you're putting out there, and then, dude, if you could come up with something that you think your audience would want, game over. And I think
Yeah.
what Darren was saying, like in the next few years, we're going to start seeing more and more content creators. Like Mr. Beast was saying, and he was coming at, it was Hershey's or one of them, and these M&Ms and Skittles and all these old brands by Kroger and these massive corporations. I mean, just look at Colgate toothpaste, all these brands. I think the next generation, you listening, could be the one to have your like spot on the shelves, and you don't have to go through these old gatekeepers of trying to get there. You create this massive audience, and these stores are going to say, "Come on in, you could be any shelf you want because we know you got the demand behind you. You got the brand."
These big companies too, like Walmart, these big corporations that are selling these products too, I think they are just beginning to realize the potential for all of these influencer brands too, because I think 5 years ago even, they would have just said no to all of these different influencer brands coming at them, wanting to stock their shelves. But now that they see Mr. Beast paving the way, paving the path for the next generation, I think that's going to be pretty important for the future generation of influencers of YouTube. And also 3, 4, 5 years ago, you might have thought that YouTube was oversaturated. You can't make the same content anymore. You can't blow up. But it's just, I think there's a cycle. There was a point where everyone was blowing up on YouTube, maybe 2016, 2017. And then 2018, 2019, it was kind of harder. Everyone was like, oh, it's oversaturated. You can't really get views organically on YouTube, even on Instagram. But then 2020 and 2021, they started implementing, like you were saying, I guess, the TikTokification really helped with the shorts, people blowing up on TikTok. And there's this whole loop going on once again. It's like 10 years ago, whenever Vine was out, you had all these Vine stars building their name on Vine. Then Vine died out. They repurposed everything. They took their audience from Vine to YouTube. And I think these TikTok stars are doing the same thing. And if they do it smart enough, you can build a giant audience on one platform, bring them to another, and then just keep building and building with all of everywhere, in all these different platforms. And then build your business, build up whatever company you'd want. Yeah. And also, like, if Mr. Beast built an alcoholic company, how do you think it would do?
Yeah, I think we already know. I just don't think it would have the same effect as Happy Dad. I think with the Feastables, like this chocolate, and he said he did make the ingredients like better than these other companies, but it's still like a great product for maybe a younger demographic. And Beast Burger, like it's fun, it's like young. Like I think, dude, he knows what he's doing. But yeah, if he did an alcohol brand or some other kind of like a poker sponsorship, I just think it would probably flop for sure.
Yeah, even though he has 20 times the subscribers of Nelk, of Full Send, I think Nelk still will have made way more money if they both made the same alcoholic brand business, because you do have to be self-aware too. Mr. Beast knows himself. He can't just be an imposter and build a company around something that he's not, that isn't what he is. This is what he is. He's like a nice guy, very, very low key, very mellow, the opposite of what Nelk is. And so building an alcoholic brand is just the way to go for them. And they're definitely crushing it more than all these other guys that build beverages like The Rock and George Clooney, like you were saying. But it's interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like I think. I know, like for example, for me, like the Bible verse, we live by faith, not by sight. And I think a lot of times in life, we don't know the next step. But if Darren said, if you're interested in something and you actually have knowledge about it, and it can be obscure, start putting yourself out there, making content with it, be consistent, do it for a certain amount of time, see how you like it. And then I think that's the amazing thing, the time we're living in now. Like, you don't have to have the business, like you could start first with building your audience and brand, and then honestly, like if you create a product later on, you'd be more successful. For example, for my shoe, right, like I've been a real estate agent, like Darren, both of us have for the last few years, and I've created a business successfully with just making content, YouTube videos, right? So I spent like 3-4 months day and night creating this solid course, right, in YouTube. But I have 0 following of real estate agents. Like I created a pretty big one on TikTok for people interested interested in talking about God and hearing about that faith kind of stuff, but nothing with like real estate agents. So, you know, I tried to go the paid media route, and I'm just like, what am I doing? I know it's about content creation. So I started this new YouTube channel, and it could be the next year or two before it has a few thousand subscribers. It is niche. But if I had this big following of real estate agents and I like started making the content first, and then a year from now I created the course, I would have probably sold hundreds of them. You know what I mean? And not saying one way's right or the other, but just from experience, you know, like I think it's best just to put yourself out there before you even know what you're going to sell to people. You know what I mean? To make a business,
Exactly.
right?
I mean, you know exactly the path that would make you. You know, that would blow up the course that you have. And the course is amazing. It provides so much value. I think if any real estate agent took your course, they would.
Was not
they
trying
would,
to plug it. I was trying to say about failure right there.
No. But it's not just some random course that you put together. This took you many months of everyday work, you know, because you genuinely want to help people. You know, you just genuinely want to help people, you know? So I think, you know, that if you had a big following that a lot of agents would come to it organically, but I mean, content creating is not easy, like we were talking about. It's the hardest part, in my opinion, is to be creative and come up with different ideas, keep following the trends, and not necessarily the trends as in, you know, make a video modeling the corn kid or, you know, with his sound, like not those kind of trends, but like staying up to date with where the viewership is, such as getting on TikTok instantly, getting on Shorts right when we know that this big change is going to happen in 2023, just keeping up to date with where content is heading, because it's not, you know, especially in 2022, everything changes every few weeks. There's a new thing that's going on, and you know, it's TikTokification, the tape model, I guess we could call it too, and just the whole thing with the Shorts is going to change YouTube as we know it. I think you're going to see a lot more creators from TikTok, from short form platforms that are going to be blowing up even more and making more money quicker than ever before.
Yeah. So, I think I want to, you brag on me way too much. You're too nice, bro. But I do want to help people. But I want to brag on Darren, and I want to just like speak, because I think it could be confusing for people. I'm sharing this bad boy right here, okay? You could probably see this, okay? Darren's really, really good at this. So he has a big YouTube channel. I mean, like 90,000. Now, he's a real estate agent in LA, right? And he uses that and gets a crazy amount of clients and high-end clients through this YouTube channel. Like the business he's had in LA, it would have taken agents maybe 20, 30 years to do, and probably even get there even after 20, 30 years. So one thing he does really cool, and this is, I want to provide value to you guys, is I can't speak today, too much coffee, too much pre-workout, is on his YouTube channel, he does these longer form content kind of home tours, really high end, nice camera work, 10, 20 minutes, whatever, doing these $20, $50 million homes in Bel Air. If you haven't seen them, they're amazing. Go check out his channel. Like really, it's like something from HGTV. But he has a TikTok, and what he does on TikTok's incredible, because he knows if he did like that longer format, and when it work as well. And I recently saw you did something. It was on the Kardashians buying a home in Malibu. I don't know where it is, but I want you to sort of talk about how you did that, and how, like, your thoughts of your real estate agent, and you want to talk about real estate and still keep it on brand, but how did you come up with creating like content talking about like celebrity homes and stuff? Because it's very different than your main channel, but it's working like really well.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to, you can't just be making the same exact content forever. You can, but the views will slowly decline. You always have to innovate no matter what kind of creative niche you are in. And so, I mean, my thoughts were just, what do people like viewing? They like seeing celebrities. Those get a lot of views, you know, I mean, and so, and living in LA especially, I have to know the market. So I'm always seeing all of these different celebrities buy up houses in the hills, buy up houses in Malibu, and why not just talk about the celebrities and their houses? People like seeing nice houses. People like hearing about what celebrities are doing. So if you just mix those together, they make for great content, great viewership. I have a few with over 1 million views. You know, you just pick the celebrity that's in at the moment, talk about Drake, you know, Kanye, the Kardashians, and then you also have to make a good video, though. You can't just, like, everything, all the little things in content mattered, you know, just the quality, what you're saying, the clips, the music. It's not just like anyone could just have a photo in the background and then say a few things, because people do try it as well, and they don't get the same kind of viewership that I might doing some of these series, but you just have to take everything into account, learn about what makes a good content, and then just take action and just do it.
Yeah, I think that's so good. Take action, do it, make it contextual. I know something we're talking about now is like we call it the Tate model or whatever, Grant Cardone, with the captions and with these big poppy captions and just how everything's so much shorter now and just the hooks and just this, there's so much emphasis on that, and with the emojis with the captions, and you know, and we're always constantly watching this stuff because, you know, with it, how it works with TikTok and all these things is a lot of these apps, like even like TikTok, like if you're using a different font from what's the trending font, if you have a different color that's not the trending color, or if like you use a certain type of sound that's a trending sound, or a certain type of hashtag, or like Darren said, you know, something's popping off in the news, so there's like, you know, if something's happening with Kanye, well, there's going to be a lot of search volume, so it's like a supply and demand kind of thing. You know, you have more search volume than there's content, you make a piece about a content about that with a smaller channel, and boom, you could get all these views. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's really a game, you know, and it's like, okay, how can you master the game?
And speaking of search volume, that can go with any kind of content you're creating too, whether that's making celebrity house tours, or whether that is if you're a real estate agent trying to find someone moving to your specific city, because somebody looking to move to maybe Palm Desert has a lot of search volume. Then maybe make a video about that, and you can find the small niche of people that are actually interested in learning more about Palm Desert, or, you know, San Diego, or whatever, any other cities. So search volume is another thing that's pretty important. And I think also it'd be good, even if you're just an entertainment creative, you can get ideas from just what people are asking, questions people are asking, how to do this, how to do that. You know, how-to videos do pretty well as well. And I've heard from a few different people, Mr. Beast, you know, some of the big channels, Think Media, they talk about make videos on specific questions, answer those questions, but then make the video creative, because that is just one way that you'll get some viewership, because what are people searching into Google? Also with the SEO, your video could come up first if people are asking specific questions, and that's just, you know, mixing in answering a question with making creative, engaging content is just another way that you can slowly build up yourself and grow on social media. So that's pretty interesting.
That is such good advice, and I think I love it what Darren was saying about how-tos and stuff. And why is that so effective? Because obviously there's a need. People need help. You know a little more than the average person on a certain topic, and then you're answering these questions. Then people, they subscribe to you. They start liking your videos, because and then you're offering them help, and then you start building an audience like with that. And I think like Darren said, like he was talking about like local cities, right? And that's like the crazy thing on YouTube. And Darren was saying, like, you know, if things go in waves, but for a lot of like local cities and places across America, like for example, moving to videos, or a lot of local cities, there's all this search volume out there for topics, but no one's answering the demand for it. No one's like creating something to fit that need. So for example, I have a very small channel, but I can make over 6 figures a year by just having niche content. So you don't need massive followers if you are meeting a need. You know what I mean? Like, and I think like Darren said with the SEO, you know, for example, like, you know, how to, you know, mow your lawn in, I don't know, whatever, right? And then you have that in the title, and then you have a great thumbnail with you with maybe like the lawnmower like in flames or something, because people are like, oh, or something like to catch them.
Flames always work.
Flames always work on YouTube. And then you start off the hook with like like, have you ever, like, your lawnmower done X, Y, and Z? And you're like, yes, that's exactly what I've been struggling with. And then, like, then they'll watch your video. And then at the end, you say, by the way, if you want to know the best, Darren cut out, but he'll come back in. If you want to know the best, like, gasoline for your lawnmower, watch this video. And then it's just sort of, it creates a loop with people, and people just keep watching your videos. And that's how you could just provide value to people with the whole lawnmower thing. You know, I mean, it could be something so niche where if you just start making content about it and you're genuinely helping people in your videos, people are going to come back to you because you're helping them. You know, I think entertainment, like, content creators, they have to entertain. So your skill set and your videos have to be completely different than someone who's educating. But I think a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs here, a lot of it is going to be, I would say, edutainment. So it's entertainment and it's educating people. That's sort of the best if you could do both of those. You know, so I would just say, yeah, if whatever your product, business, if you simply just educate people, you don't have to be some crazy, like, you know, money's falling from the sky, you're giving $10,000 away to like a bunch of people like Mr. Beast does. You could be really successful on YouTube if you're answering a question, meeting a need that no one else is.
Definitely. I mean, edutainment, that's a great word. Some may say valuetainment. Shout out PBD. Patrick Bet David. But yeah, I like what you're saying, how all content creators are also entertainers, no matter what niche you are in. Even myself being in the house tour niche, let's say, and I've been doing videos for 2.5 years, just showing off nice houses. I also have to present myself well. And over time, it wasn't easy. It took a couple of years to actually figure out, you know, my, like, who I was as a presenter showing off a house. It's not the easiest thing. And I am technically an entertainer too, because if I'm extremely boring, people will only be there for the house. But slowly over time, I've built up a following of people that actually, you know, like me and like what I have to say and how I go about showing the house. Because now there's a lot of people doing that. But also in that sense, I have talked a lot in this podcast about how you have to innovate over time, and that's one thing that is hard with my channel specifically. And I'll just say that because I've pretty much been doing almost the same styled content for a couple of years now with that channel, which is very hard to well, I actually, earlier this year, I was trying different styled videos, and they just weren't doing the views that the videos that I do with the nice production, walking through houses are doing. So there are some niches that it takes a lot more thinking and innovating, maybe even more money to put into the production of it all to actually figure out another way for me to repurpose my audience into liking different styled content, which eventually in the future I will be getting into something else. I don't know exactly how it'll be, but with that channel, I will always be like real estate related-ish, so that I have the followers that I do have sticking with me. But it's hard to figure out other areas to go in that's not just the same, because how can I be doing the same video for the next 5+ years? It's tough. Any channel you have to innovate, unless you're doing Gold Digger Pranks Part 75, which I've seen that guy's channel. He's been doing the same thing for like 7 years. I guess if it's not broken, you know, you don't have to change your style. But I don't know. That's just one thing that I've been thinking about when just with my content alone. I mean, it works, but it's sometimes it can be just a job, and that's where a lot of content creators can get burnt out. Once it does start feeling like just a job for them, even if they are just vlogging their day-to-day life and having fun towards the camera, it can feel like a job even when doing that. You know, people in a blue-collar job may not understand or realize that, but it's also a job making content. You know, it's all work. So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all work. I mean, I remember when I was doing the home tours for just a short bit, and it's like just trying to find a real estate agent who will let you see their $10-20 million home, you know, and then scheduling that. And then, you know, just to schedule that, it could be hundreds of emails, calls, whatever, you know, and then, okay, do you have the videographer? Okay, you got to get your talking footage. You got to make sure you nail all the points about the house. You need to make sure you get like all the B-roll, you know, you got to make sure you got to edit it all. And then you got, you know, so there's just, it's like, you know, people who like don't get it. They're like, oh, like, you know, YouTubers, all these people, like it's not even like a real job. But like, no, it really is. You know, like if you look at any television, okay, watch your favorite TV show on wherever, Netflix, whatever, watch your favorite movie, and at the very end of it, actually watch the credits and see how many people you have, like directors of photography, you have you have like the videographer, then you have someone who just controls the camera's focus, you have people, so say like we edit a YouTube video, okay, we edit the sound, there's people who just do that, we edit the color, there's colorists who just do the color grading, we edit, like, so a YouTuber is doing like 100 jobs, okay? We don't have script writers, we don't have directors, assistant directors, we don't have scouts, like scouting locations for us, you know what I mean? So when you really understand what YouTubers and content creators are doing, it's gnarly. So next time you watch a movie or television, look at the hundreds of people it takes to even produce a show like Friends, and you'll be like, okay, this is sort of gnarly.
Yeah, we are literally doing it all. There's a sound guy on movie sets that just holds the boom mic up, you know, and we put up the mics, we put up the lighting, we write the scripts, we set up the locations. That's crazy, like, to think about that we actually do 10, 12, 20 different jobs that movie production, you know, big time movie companies would put on with a big group of people. But also it takes them sometimes many months to put out content, whereas some YouTubers are posting once a week, multiple times a week. So if you think of it in the bigger picture like that, it's a lot of work to be putting out consistent content every week. Weeks go by quick. If you're working a regular 9 to 5, you're looking forward to that Friday. You're looking forward to the weekend, and before you know it, Monday comes. You got the Sunday scaries going into Monday, and then it's Friday. Boom! It's the weekend. You get a couple days to relax and chill, and then boom, Monday comes right back on again. But people that are making content, you have to consistently come up with every day. Think hard about what is next. What's the next thing you're doing? You know, what's going on? And yeah, dude, it is a lot, but it's also fun. You know, that's why we choose to do what we're doing, because we also have a good time doing it. You know, if we weren't passionate about making content or teaching people how to make content and what it can do, how it can benefit your life, then we wouldn't be doing it. We could be doing anything else, really. That's how we've set our lives up in the last few years to get to where we are now and be able to do what we're doing and help other people in the future. And so it's going to be cool to see where the future of social media goes, business wise, from now on. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, like today, you know, it's 10:40 and it's a weekday, and this is what we're doing. And social media like changed our life. It's a 10:40 on a weekday, and we get to do this. And we're self-employed, and this is us being like, okay, we got to meet. Let's talk. Let's discuss. Let's publish. Let's create shorts. All this, and that's like, if you're looking for a challenge in life, like creating content is one of the best, most exciting things in the world. Every day's different. At night, I'm going to bed looking at analytics. In the morning, I'm looking and seeing. I have posts going out at 7 a.m. He's posting stuff at 5 p.m. Like, it just never stops, and it's wonderful. And you don't get those Sunday, what do you call them, Sunday scaries?
The Sunday scary. You've never heard of Sunday scaries? You don't know many people working 9 to 5s then, because the Sunday scaries are for people that. Well, I had the Sunday scaries when I was in school. Every Sunday, it'd be like, once it gets towards the evening, you'd be just dreading the next morning, like, oh my gosh, it's only a few more hours until I have to go to my 8 a.m. class. You know, you don't sleep that night because you're just stressed out. People have that. It's a very serious condition. Well, it's not a condition, but it's a very serious thing that people think about. They don't want to go into work the next day. You know, maybe they'll call in sick on Mondays. You know, Mondays is the number 1 day that people call out of work. You know, I think that's a stat out there or something.
Wow.
That's what I would guess. But yeah, Sunday scaries, dude. It's a true thing.
It's mind-boggling to me, because, like, honestly, if I didn't have my wife and I didn't love her and my children, I'd be doing this 15 hours a day, and I wouldn't even go home. I'd probably be like Mr. Beast and have a cot over here and just sleep. And I literally tell my wife, I said, I wish, like, you know, God made like 20 days in a week, and then there was Saturday and Sunday, so I could work like 18 days in a row. And then, because it's not work to us, it really is not work. Like, how can it be? You get to talk and do do things you love and like and help people through content, like it's not a job.
Dude, I can't believe it. And I can't believe how quickly time flies that we are already going to be in November, December 2023. It seems like the last 2 years have flown by, but you really just have to make the most of every day, make every day count, no matter if it's the weekend or a weekday. Make sure you're getting toward where you want to be content-wise. And one cool thing about content also is seeing the growth slowly. I think the numbers help a lot of people for smaller channels. The numbers, seeing that you're at least growing, even if it is 2 subscribers a day, that you are still growing. You're still on an upward trend. I think that helps a lot of people continue in the social media space on any platform, really, for small creators, small businesses, or whatever.
Yeah, and honestly, if you are in that grind, I remember my wife and I, we were watching Downton Abbey, and the old lady in the show, she's like, a J-O-B? Like, what's that? Or something like that. I was like, because, Downton Abbey, they're all royalty. It's like, trust fund, right? They never work a day in their life. I mean, they work, but it's a different kind of work. Yeah. It's like with the city and stuff. I don't want no hate on Downton Abbey. Love it. But like, if you're in a job you hate, you got from 5 o'clock to probably 11 o'clock at night where you could script and film and edit a video. Like you can get 2 videos out a week and then you have the weekend free. Like not for everyone. I know some people might be working 2 jobs and have crazy circumstances, but you really, if you just like if you use your weekends or you use your after hours of your job and you start making content and post it, and don't be embarrassed. Don't tell your family and friends if that's going to stop you from posting. Just post it, because if it's good content and it's searchable, people are going to find it. Yeah. Okay. You don't need like all your family and friends to subscribe if they're not even going to watch your videos. So like, honestly, just do it and be consistent, and you could do that with your main full-time job, and in 6, 8 months, a year, 2 years from now, that could turn into a real thing, and and have a full-on new career for yourself. Yeah. So you can make it happen.
If you're working one job 8 hours a day, you do have enough time to work on your side hustle every day, unless people can make the excuse that, I'm extremely tired. All I want to do is relax, sit on my couch, and watch TV. But I mean, if that's all you want to do, then that's fine. But if you want to build your side hustle and eventually have that be your future career, then you can do that. It really depends on where your wants and needs are. Shout out Drake, Wants and Needs. Yep. It's a song, but
there you go.
But yeah, whatever if you're passionate about building a career in a different area than your 9 to 5, then I think you do have time. Get a little less sleep. It's not going to hurt you to grind out a little less sleep for a couple years if that means helping work toward your passion, making your dreams come true. Dreams life can buy. Your life can buy you whatever dreams you have in your head. So just gotta figure out a schedule, stay structured, stay organized, which is probably the hardest part. Plan it out, organize what time block certain areas of your schedule, whether that's before you go into your 9 to 5 or after, and then figure out what you want to do with that time to work on you.
Yep. Darren, all right, let's talk about it with dreams life and by what. I don't know if we're going to close this out here. What's a dream of yours in the next year? What's one of your dreams? Or it could be the biggest, whatever. What's one of your dreams?
A dream? That's tough. But I am building out my real estate team, so that is, that's where I am right now. I mean, the dreams in the next year, it's hard to like make your dreams come true in the next year, but I'll say it on this podcast.
Maybe like a goal.
Yeah, goals are better
goals better.
Like, dreams can be like 5-10 years maybe.
That's right. Dreams are usually big.
Yeah.
But a goal that's like one of the legs of the dream. You know what I mean? Like one of the levels, the foundations of the dream are these little goals. So what's a goal? Big
goals. Build out my real estate team. Have that going. Automated sales every month. Have this podcast. Have some of the best guests. Have some of the best interviews in the world that you guys will ever see. If you've watched this far into the video, I hope you're watching our 50th video, our 100th video from now, because we are going to have some killer guests, some amazing people you want to listen to. big time business CEOs and some people you might not expect to be on here. But then we'll also have
shout out Martha Stewart.
You never know. You really never know. We're open to hearing about her business with Snoop Dogg. So there's a lot to learn from everyone. So
that's right.
Yeah. So also I want to make sure my main YouTube channel is up and going. I also want my second YouTube, up and going to where I can. 100,000 subscribers is always cool. Like I need to get to the 100,000 mark. Like that's always tough.
Need that plaque.
I need the plaque. I need
that
the
plaque.
Just it's tough to get to. But by that point, yeah, exactly. You need it right on the wall here. And then my second channel, kind of just making content that I'm a little more passionate about in regards to Los Angeles life, Los Angeles living, and help people learn more about what Los Angeles is if you either want to move here or if you just have questions and are only learning about LA through what the media, the news is telling you about LA. Because I think it's nicer than everyone on the news is telling you about how bad LA is. And the people on other podcasts you listen to about how LA has just gone to trash lately, but it really has not. I live in the middle of the city, and I just want to make this content from this channel to tell people about how LA is still the LA that you know and love. Still the LA with the beautiful weather, the great beaches, the beautiful people, nice people too. It just depends what social circle you're in. All these influencers that talk bad about LA, they're in the circle of influencers that are only doing what they do for money, for power. The most followers will get you into the nicest.
To be at the Saddle Ranch, with the paparazzi.
Yeah. They'll call up the paparazzi. They'll go to the nicest clubs. So a large audience only hears from this small group of people, which is tough to comprehend. If all you hear from LA are from a podcast with hundreds of thousands of views, you may think that your perception of LA or their perception of LA is accurate. But me having a small second channel, just trying to touch on all the little things that make LA great, I think would benefit a lot of people to understand that California is still California. Cali living. It is the dream area to be. Los Angeles is the city of angels. Shout out LA. I got nothing but great things to say. Obviously, we like it for its flaws. It's not perfect, but it's still an phenomenal place to live. So that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to build out this social media thing to help my business in real estate and just continually do that actively and passively and just work every day on all these different spaces pretty much. But so yeah, what about you? What's your one year goals with everything?
I love it, bro. When you were talking, I just kept hearing California knows how to party in the city.
Dude, I wish I could use that song, or else we'll get copyrighted. I'll get I would use that on every video I've ever made. I'd use that on every video I've ever made. I literally just
heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, you would. Yeah, no, I love it. I love Darren's mission, dude. It's like the last of the Mohicans. Darren's got honestly, yeah, there's nothing like California. There really isn't. And we got a sunshine tax. It's expensive here, but come to Laguna Beach, come to Santa Monica.
But there's more opportunity.
Put your feet in the sand.
There's a lot of things that you can do, and people you'll meet in LA that you won't meet in places where you're going to be paying less for taxes.
Ohio. Arkansas, shout out.
It says Ohio.
You pay for what you get. So my goal would be really just full time really into content creation. So now I love helping people in real estate. It's my full time business and job. But it could be I could be working with one person and it could be months and months on end, sending them houses. It takes a lot of time. Now, of course, it's my job and I'm grateful. My wife would say, but that's what you do for a living. That's what you get paid. It's true. But I just feel like with content creation, I could have a bigger impact. And I've always wanted to do big things that impact a lot of people and help a lot of people, serve a lot of people. So I feel like I could better suited for that, or I'd enjoy that more than just the day-to-day of driving in a car, being a realtor, where it's one person at a time, but I'm still super grateful for it. So with me, I have my One Palm Springs channel, which I'll just continue. Eventually, I'll probably turn that into something maybe more personal. I used to do the Jordan family vlogs. That was a good time. So
Amazing.
maybe eventually something like that. But I would love Real Estate Creator to be, I just got about 3,000 views in the last like 48 hours with shorts. It's a new channel. I didn't tell
That's
you,
amazing.
dude. So shorts are popping off. Yeah. So I would love that to be 10 to 50,000 subscribers by the end of
Which
next
one?
year. That new channel.
Real Estate Creator? Ooh, okay.
Because
okay.
I know big goals, but with shorts, and then that could be, I could be mentoring agents, coaching them, just full-time income from that business of just helping real estate agents who were once cold calling and doing all the things they hate, and now teach them how to create content to attract their dream clients like that, and to help thousands of agents like stop listening to all these gurus and coaches who don't know anything about social media, and all they're teaching them is these old tactics, and it's like, bro, it's 2023 almost. So goal with that, and then just like with this podcast, grow it, and then just like Darren said, like to be, well, I don't know if you said this, but to become more of a full-time content creator where I have like an editor helping me edit videos and just getting more content, helping more people. And I live in Palm Springs right now, and I really want to live in Orange County where I grew up with my family, and go surfing in the morning and on the weekends, and take the kids to the beach.
It's gonna happen.
I love the ocean, so that's the goal.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and we're gonna look back on this in a year and see where we're at, and have another podcast dedicated to see where we're at with all these goals. I hope I'm at 200,000, 250K subscribers on my main channel in a year from today. That would be cool.
I love it,
just
bro.
pretty much
That's
the house
good.
tours. But yeah, that was basically everything. Is that all we wanted to say, Tommy? We
That's a
pretty
wrap.
much wrapped up.
Yeah,
Appreciate you
tell them
guys.
to hit that subscribe.
Hit that
podcast,
subscribe button.
Spotify, Apple.
Yeah, we're on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever else you can watch podcasts or listen to podcasts, and then YouTube, the main one, YouTube here. If you guys made it to the end, hit the like button. Really appreciate you hitting the like button. Also subscribe. We're posting videos every week. This podcast, and I said we're getting huge guests on, so stay tuned for the huge guests in the future. Really appreciate you guys. Dreams life can buy, and we'll see you on the next one.
Later, guys. Boom, baby. Solid.